I don't know what sparked it, but I've got a good idea that they're probably working on two theories. One is that the theory that the little girl went missing and that she was abducted and murdered close to the location, and that they're searching the areas around that location. Now, that's been done many times before, but this time I think they're working to some very strong intelligence that they gleaned as part of their investigation.
You were sent to Portugal as part of the British team investigating Madeleine's abduction just days after she went missing. You have said it was clear very quickly that Portuguese police were not doing a good job on this case. You called their approach flawed. Others have called it a fiasco. What did they do wrong?
Well, they did many things wrong. One of the most important things about child abduction is that you're fighting the clock, and you have to do things in order and you have to do them very quickly. You have to generate lots of inquiries over a short period of time. And the first thing that they did wrong is that they didn't lock down the crime scene. They didn't stop people leaving the resort. The second thing that they did was that they didn't do what's called suspect generation, which means when you've not got a suspect, you start to trawl in your systems and your databases looking for possible suspects. So you look for sex offenders, you look for nighttime burglars, you look for people that are risk takers, people that have sexual interest in children and maybe previous convictions for those offences. And then you draw up lists, and from those lists you prioritise your suspects. And what we now know, in hindsight, is if they'd done that correctly, Christian B would have been on one of those lists, possibly two, possibly all three of those lists, and would have been a prime suspect.
Right. He had a record of child sexual abuse as an adolescent himself in Germany that would have popped right up in the database. When you arrived in Portugal, you met at that point with Madeleine's parents, and you were brutally honest with them and told them that the chances that she was alive, even back then, were very small. The vast majority of children who are abducted by strangers are murdered within 3 to 6 hours.
That's correct, yeah. I mean, I'm one of the few people in the world that studied these men that abduct, sexually abuse and murder children. And I've interviewed many of them in different locations around the world. And what we do know is that if a child is killed or is murdered as a result of an abduction, then they're likely to be dead within 3 to 6 hours. These ideas, this Hollywood sort of version of people keeping children hostages and feeding them and keeping them in cages, it's just not practical. You've got to keep the child quiet, you've got to keep the child healthy, you've got to keep the child fed. So in most cases, the children that are abducted are sexually abused, murdered very quickly.
As somebody who has made a career studying these monsters, because there is no other word for them, to be honest, what can you tell me about what you believe about Christian Bruckner, the main suspect? He's never been charged, but he is in custody. And we do know that this latest search does come at the request of German police who are now investigating him.
Well, whenever you look at child abduction, the first thing you have to ask yourself is what kind of person will commit this kind of crime? And they are a very rare crime, and it's a very rare group of criminals that will commit these type of offences. And so you look for indicators. So if you look at Christian B, for example, he had a history of child sexual abuse in Germany. He was breaking into people's houses at night and stealing and sexually assaulting people. And also, he was a risk taker. Now, when you add those two things or three things together, you end up with someone that falls into a very rare group of offenders. So he would have been very, very high on the priority list if this Portuguese police had done their work correctly.
Do you think this case will ever be solved and adjudicated? It is one of the most infamous mysteries on the planet right now.
Yeah, it's a mystery that's endured at least for 18 years, and it will always be the case until it is solved. I think at this stage, Christian B looks like a very, very good suspect, but the German police are obviously looking for some evidence that they can use to pursue a prosecution. It's likely that if they don't get that, then Christian B will be released in September, and we might never know whether he was responsible for it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.